Hello and welcome to a look at Indy Heat for the Amiga, a Leland Corporation arcade original that was converted by the sales curve and released by Storm. An interesting observation is the fact that the arcade original is called Danny Sullivan's Indy Heat. And for whatever reason, apparently, it was decided not to license the full title of the game, and in the arcade original, you have 15 tracks available, whereas in this game you have 11. Indy Heat is an overhead racing game, as you can likely see from the graphics, and you have to race various different tracks. And depending on your finishing position, you will get a certain amount of money, or you have to spend a credit to continue. The money you earn can be spent on various different upgrades for your car. You can buy turbo boosts, you can buy better brakes, better tires, faster pit crew, better fuel efficiency, or a more powerful engine. In the upgrade menu, you have a choice of letting the computer decide what upgrades you should get. And even though it claims that it always buys the best stuff, that is up for debate. From a technical point of view, I will have to say upfront that I have no experience with the arcade original, so I don't know how this game measures up to the arcade original, but certain commenters have claimed that it is a complete copy of the arcade. So, I don't know whether that's the case or not, but yeah. Graphics-wise, I think the game looks neat. I think it's probably the best word I can use for it. It doesn't necessarily look overly spectacular, but it is, for the game type, very, very appropriate. And despite the fact that the cars are relatively small, there's a certain amount of detail going on. Things like bits falling off the car when you smack into things and that kind of stuff. And I find the graphics fully enjoyable. On the sound side of things, again, because I don't have any arcade reference to work by, I have no idea whether the music and or sound effects are inspired by the arcade original, but I would assume they are. The music I found enjoyable. By and large, there's perhaps a bit tedium kicking in after a while, but the musical quality is definitely not bad. The sound effects are what they need to be. The engine sound is thankfully not intrusive, and of course you have sound effects when you hit stuff and you use your turbo boost, and then you get the occasional pit call out from the pit crew, which is a nice little thing. Looking at controls, it's a bit of an interesting one, because you have two options for your controls. The standard options, which is using left and right to steer the car left and right, up to activate the turbo boost, and then using the fire button to accelerate, and when you let go of the fire button, you effectively kick in your brakes. But you also have an alternate even control method, which is effectively turning your digital controller into an analog controller. And I am not a fan. I found it to be extremely convoluted, and I just could not get used to it, so I abandoned that control scheme very, very quickly. Cute idea, but I'm not sure if I think that it works. The gameplay, of course, is an overhead racer, and for reference I should probably mention that you can either play this game 3 players if you have the option available, and of course I am not in that position, so I played this game by myself. Outside of being an overhead racer like so many other overhead racers, the uniqueness in this game supposedly is the fact that you can actually mess with the other cars when they are in the pit. You can knock them off their pit stations, and In most cases, the computer-controlled cars will not turn around on the spot and go back in their pit station. They will actually take a full lap with a crippled car, which means winning the races can be surprisingly easy if you make use of such methods. In games of this type, there will always be at least one racing car which is there for comic relief. Basically, it's always screwing up, always doing wonky things and that kind of stuff. And in the case of this game, it's definitely the grey car. Yeah. The upgrade system is a nice idea, but ultimately it is a bit superfluous, to use a fancy word. I played this game a handful of times to get a feel for how the different upgrades would affect the car and performance and all that kind of stuff. And it quickly dawned on me that turbos are nice to have, but it's a luxury you don't need. Brakes? Who uses brakes in a racing game? Tires? Well, better grip is always nice, but too much better grip actually makes the car control in a very, very floaty way, which is not particularly pleasant. Pit crew, speeding up the pit visits is fine, except for the fact that the fuel efficiency upgrade is so incredibly powerful that you get to the point where you can actually do your full races without ever having to visit the pit. So the pit crew is not going to be particularly helpful if you're not visiting the pit, so upgrading the pit crew's performance becomes a complete and utter waste. So basically you sit with a situation where you just want to power up your engine and power up your fuel economy, and then you can go out and win the race relatively easily. Assuming you can avoid being crushed by the other cars and bumping into them and all that kind of stuff, but there's no denying that this game is a bit on the easy side. I'd say quite a bit on the easy side, and players of remote racing game skill will quickly beat this game if they try it out. But in the process of working out what the different upgrades did to also the car's performance and characteristics, I played this game a handful of times, and I have to admit, even though I beat the game every single time, I did find the experience enjoyable. Unlikely as enjoyable as it would have been if I had someone else to play with and scream at and laugh with and all that kind of stuff, but I expected less than the game actually delivered, and I was positively surprised. And I can happily say that for what it is, perhaps too easy, but it is still very enjoyable. On that note, thanks for watching, take care, we'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.